Hi guys, I'm in the kitchen and I'm about to make a dish of maybe someone can say a poor man's appetite. It is shepherd's pie. I first stumbled upon shepherd's pie when I was in school in Ohio. I mean, at that school it was called Urbana College, and we had shepherd's pie maybe once a week. Now, granted, I am from the East Coast, and we were just not potato eaters. So, when moving out to Ohio and going to school there, you had to love potatoes, let me just say that. So, I grew to like potatoes a lot, more than I need to. So, on the stove now, we have some onions, chopped onions, getting soft in a mixture of two oils there. I have the garlic olive oil and the avocado oil I'm using there. And for this shepherd's pie, I am going to use fresh ground turkey meat that has previously been frozen, and some Kirkwood mild turkey breakfast sausage that has a little spice to it that has previously been frozen. So I am going to let the onions get a little bit softer. Actually, I think they're good now. Yeah, I get the aroma of them coming up. I'm going to open up my meat. In the meantime, let's check on this meat. Here I've used about half of my container or carton of ground turkey meat, and I used half of my roll of turkey sausage, and in it I have the diced onions, and I'm mixing those together as I usually do. I start off a lot of my cooking recipes, because we eat a lot of ground turkey meat. I start off a lot of my recipes this way. So I'm just separating it and letting it brown. And then I will drain off some of the oil, get a casserole dish out, and layer this in the bottom. Probably I'll layer some kind of sauce, mix some kind of sauce into this meat, then layer it in a casserole dish. Top it with the frozen vegetables and then with the sweet corn mix, and let it bake in a 350-degree oven. I am definitely flying by the seat of my pants with this recipe, because when I got onto film, I was definitely in my mind bringing you a shepherd's pie recipe, and I thought that I would just film it, because why not make use of the activity, the cooking, and not film it. So I'm starting to try to film a lot of the things I'm doing that I can bring to you. So some of the stuff I don't bring to you, but things like this I can bring. So I'm dicing up the meat a little, just getting it diced a little smaller as my husband likes it. Sure, you heard me say that before, but I think he's going to be surprised, because he was expecting shepherd's pie. He asked me to make shepherd's pie. Unless I call him to ask him to bring home some potatoes and then just put it in the oven at the last minute, it's going to be something else. So you're going to see it at the end result. So it will be the mystery pie. Either it would be shepherd's pie or some kind of a sweet corn cake pie, like a tamale pie, but my variation. So that's where I am with this, and we'll see you back in a bit. Okay guys, I am back. I have made a decision as to what this is actually going to be. So it's actually going to be a shepherd's pie. I spoke with my husband on the phone. He's going to bring home some kind of potatoes. Potatoes of his choice. Hopefully they will be instant. So what I have before you are the spices that are going into this dish. I have about, let's see, of the thyme, I have about a teaspoon of it, and a teaspoon of the 21 seasoning from Trader Joe's. This is the thyme, and this is the 21 seasoning from Trader Joe's. I have a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic and a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, just to enhance the onions I put in. And potatoes, what are potatoes without parsley? So I have a 1/4 teaspoon of parsley. So I am going to add that to my meat that I have already drained. So in goes the spices, as you can see. It's tricky holding the camera at the right angle or getting it on the subject, right? So there are my spices in there. I'm just going to stir those around in there. So basically I'm going to just prep this dish so that when he comes home from work, I can mix up the potatoes, and hopefully he gets the right ones. I can mix up the potatoes and just layer them on top. He does not, ooh, I gotta call him back because I just thought about it. He does not usually like milk. Although we eat ice cream, we usually are very selective with the ice cream we eat. And the cows that make the ice cream that we really like are right near the ice cream shop. So those cows have been kissed by the good witch of Virginia, because that ice cream, those cows are magic. That ice cream is magic. Does not bother our stomachs at all. But milk does, is what I was trying to say. So I am going to use the cream of mushroom soup mix, but I'm going to thin it out with water because he doesn't like milk. And I am going to have to make sure that he gets the right potatoes, because sometimes you have to mix those with milk. So I better call him back. See you back in a bit. Okay, here we are back again. I've added the seasoning to the meat, and now I just want to add like a pinch or two of this Himalayan salt that I have put in my salt jar. And when I say a pinch, I really mean a pinch, not like you get in a restaurant. That's it, because our cream of mushroom soup mix has sodium in it, and I'm sure the potatoes are going to have sodium in it. And if you remember, we use that ground seasoned turkey sausage. That already has a bunch of seasoning and sodium in it. So I don't want to get it salty where we cannot eat it. We do not use much sodium in our food if we can help it. But using the mixed vegetables, they're going to have a watery taste, so they're going to dull down the taste some. And that's why I added the spices I did. And now I'm going to, and I also added black pepper. I ground the black pepper there and used it. So next I'm going to add the cream of mushroom soup mix, and that's way too much, I feel. I'm going to water it down, so we'll see, because we do not want to make a creamy base. We want just a light cream base. So there, I've gotten the cream of mushroom soup mix in there, diluted with water, and it looks perfect. It doesn't look too creamy. This is the same type of base I would use if I was making like instead of a beef stroganoff, if I was making a turkey stroganoff. I would just do noodles, you know, and maybe fresh mushrooms and a little bit of wine to it, the recipe. But as it is, this is just a basic recipe, nothing fancy. So it is well on its way. I'm just going to get out a baking dish, layer this meat in the bottom, and then layer it with the vegetables and wait for my husband to bring the instant potatoes to put on it, which I'll probably add a little butter to the potatoes and a little parsley and a little, yeah, that's it maybe, or garlic, just to give the potatoes a little more flavor, depending on the potatoes that he brings home. The potatoes are here, so we are ready to assemble them. They're going to go into the microwave and then into the oven. So I've measured out about a 1/2 cup of potatoes here, a 1/4 cup of water, and a tablespoon of butter. And here is the base of the shepherd's pie. The meat is at the bottom and the mixed vegetables are on top. So let's get to mixing. I'll put in the 1/4 cup of water, the tablespoon of butter. I can get it in there. Here we go. I don't want to come off the knife. And here goes the potatoes. Flakes already measured out. And I am going to whisk together, just my finger, the mixture. add a little parsley. And you know what? I may have to make another batch because it doesn't look like quite enough, but it might. Drop a little more of that in there. Give it a little flavor because I'm not using milk. I think this recipe calls for milk. So I'm going to put these in the microwave. And earlier I had suggested that this sauce that I'm using, or the meat sauce that I'm using for this recipe, could be turned into a turkey stroganoff. Well, if you did, you would probably want to use some white pepper. And I pulled out my white pepper to add some to the mashed potatoes. So let's do that. We want a little bit of that kick in there. So I'm trying to hold this camera and get out a little bit. I don't want too much. So let's just shake a little bit in there because I'm not doing it too well otherwise, and I really have to be careful. That's it. So white pepper in there, and now we're going to give it a whisk. Alrighty, it's done. It's lightly browned. You can see it is pulled away from the edges some. The brown is there. It is crispy. You hear that sound? Around the sides. So I'm just gonna cut into it a little. And there you are, the little meat pie there. And that's what we got. So we're going to have that with a salad. There are scallions in this salad and celery, to which I'm going to add a little avocado, and that will be the dinner for tonight. Thank you for watching, and this is Julia signing off with her shepherd's pie. Bye-bye.